one win. What can a win like that do for you guys, your mentality, your confidence heading into game 2?
Yeah, I think it makes us believe that, we have a shot. Even though we already believe that, it's just putting the effort in and actually showing some results. So going into game 2, obviously we're confident. We'll set to the game plan, manage their adjustments and, try to win another game.
Speaking of their adjustments, I'm sure you're anticipating quite the response from them tonight. But for you, someone who is ISO with Shea defensively a lot, what are you expecting, just the defensive assignment that you have to bring tonight against a guy like that?
Yeah, it'll be a lot more physicality, a lot more attention to detail. Obviously, he's a great player, so he'll make his own adjustments and get some more buckets. We'll just be ready to counter that.
And anything specific from the film that you saw that personally you want to work on tonight?
Just being more physical, being a little more, being in better stances, better position, and then rebounding.
Thank you, Julian. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Talked about it being a long 48 hours. You guys had some stuff to figure out, but Coach says one of the things he loves about this group is its ability to problem solve. What was the topic that came up the most since game 1?
Yeah, I think it's just the details of stuff that we know we can do better. Whether it's just an execution standpoint, defensively being in positions, offensively getting into better actions for ourselves. Stuff that I think we've done all year that whether it's being off for a week or just playing a good opponent, forces you into mistakes. Just cleaning those up, being sharper.
Defensively, you spent a lot of time on Wemby. You're 6'5", he's 7'4". You've talked previously about doing your work early. What advantages do you actually have in that matchup?
Yeah, the further you get to the perimeter, I think it works in my favor just to be able to anticipate stuff, be able to manipulate the way that they're trying to run screens and different things like that. And then obviously you need help from your teammates. You got to have guys behind you that you can trust and have your back in case there's a slip up.
Maybe not the same stat line, but how do you replicate the impact that you had in game 1?
Yeah, just playing hard and competing. That's what this time of the year is about. I think that's why I relish these games so much, is because, it's the pinnacle of competition and it's something that I really enjoy.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks.
And the pinnacle of play, that's what we saw in game 1. Listen, we're going to be breaking down this matchup as we continue to go along the adjustments we're going to see from OKC. But first, we get to announce the Kia NBA All-Rookie teams. Look, another envelope is here with us. You guys ready to go ahead and do this?
Let's do it.
Okay. First up, Cooper Flag.
Of course.
Of
The good one.
course.
Yeah,
yes.
Obviously.
Yes, led his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
Cooper, obviously he was going to make this NBA Rookie of the Year, this year's NBA Rookie of the Year. He deserved it. He was going to be on that list. What he did, breaking records in Dallas this year. And now they're going to see who's the next coach over there to lead him.
Yeah, we will be finding that out soon. But how about his roommate making the list as well, whom we expected to be a part of this, Con Kniffel from the Charlotte Hornets?
Of course, Carl. Talking about setting records. This young man came in and set the rookie record for threes made. He led the entire NBA in threes made. So, yeah, he deserves to be on there. Averaging 19 points in his rookie season was sensational this year.
Yeah, meanwhile, a guy who led all-rookie in minutes played, you guys know this young man. We spent a lot of time with him, especially in the postseason. DJ Edgecombe.
My God,
there you
TBC, man. I could tell you can see his confidence grow throughout the season. He was very confident at the beginning of the season, obviously, but he got comfortable as the season went on. I thought he was fantastic in the playoffs, giving them another score. No Joel Embiid. Well, guess who steps up? VJ. I look forward to seeing what type of player he becomes next season because he's going to be a monster.
100%. A guy that we've noticed has been a monster, even in game 1 right here on this court. Dylan Harper, who got his first playoff start. Now welcome to the all-rookie first team.
Well, you talk about somebody, again, they questioned this pick that we went San Antonio chosen him, picked him second. But what he's been doing, he got better as the season went along. He went through some rookie, ups and downs throughout the season. But right now, game 1 in the Western Conference Finals, a rookie putting his team on their back. He deserved that first team honor.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets another start today, whether or not De'Aaron Fox can go, still a game-time decision. But the last name on the list for the first team is Cedric Coward of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Another Team VC guy.
Team
early in the
VC.
year, it was like what does he bring to the table? Well, his defensive edge and passion. He plays extremely hard. He's fearless, and he said he wants to be a Kawhi Leonard-like, and I look forward to seeing that. He just went about his business. Yes, Memphis was not talked about much, but he had a great season. Congratulations to you, Cedric.
Congratulations.
All right, so that is your first team, all-rookie team. Let's get into the second team. First up, we have Maxime Reynaud from the Sacramento Kings. Then it's going to be Derek Queen from the New Orleans Pelicans.
All around.
Jeremiah Fears, his teammate from the Pelicans.
My two guys.
There you
yes,
go.
Yes.
Ace Bailey from the Utah Jazz.
like
and then
that.
Colin Murray Boyles from...
Now that's the one. He should
Yes.
have been on the first team.
Tell me more. Tell me why. What did
Murray
he show
Boyles
you?
should have been on the first team. This is a kid who nobody was expecting anything from. He go out there to Toronto, help those guys get to the playoffs, compete in the playoffs, and he played a very, very big role on the Toronto Raptors team this year. For him to come into this league as a defensive guy and that's serious against Cleveland, he showcased his offensive skills, man. This is a great pick for Toronto Raptors, and they have a good future in Murray Boyles.
And I also think early he was just trying to figure out his role in that team with all of those like-sized guys, and he felt like I had to have a motor, and I needed to just play hard and create extra possessions and be a defender. And
Absolutely.
he did that, and that's the role he had in the playoffs.
All right, those are your two rookie teams. But if you heard the boos starting to come into the Paycom
Oh, I thought they
Center,
were booing me.
nope, it's because Victor Wembanyama has made his way to the court for his warm-up. And again, he's coming off of a 40-20 night in which he led his team to a win in Game 1, stealing one in OKC. And we just wanted to show everyone how he gets ready for a game. And it always starts out right here.
Iron those hips, getting that low center gravity. We ready for all the contact and the physicality that presents itself in a game like this.
And you said something about lower center of gravity. I would love to see him take some of that in his post-up. I think sometimes he gives defenders that are smaller than him an advantage to guard him because he plays so straight up. I love to see the core balance. I think he's just working on this center of gravity, and I think when he does that in the post, he's going to be impossible to stop in the post.
All of these exercises are balancing exercises,
Yes.
balancing on one foot, understanding how and learning how to accept the contact when he was out there. He knows they're going to beat him up. He knows they're going to slap at him. He did a move in Game 1. He had Chet on his arm. He twisted, turned, dunked it backwards, right? To me, that's the type of movement that these actions are allowing him to go out there and do. He's dribbling basketballs up the side of the mountain in China. learning Kung Fu. You get what I'm saying? So these right here are the basics that you need to have in life. Balance. This is all about balance right here.
I love that you brought up the training with the Shaolin monks in China. He did that this offseason. It was a 2-week-long retreat, which is actually exactly how long a 7-game series would be. But he was doing things like 90 minutes of meditation, sitting cross-legged. He was learning how to do Kung Fu, working on that balance and the gravity. You mentioned him climbing over 2,500 feet while dribbling a basketball. These were some of the things that he worked on that are certainly paying off right now as he's in the Western Conference Finals.
Guys that really understand the history of the game and want to be great and really want to perfect their craft, these guys do everything they possibly can to get an advantage. And that's doing, jumping out of the ordinary and doing stuff that has never been done, or just trying different things to see what works for him, or what really gets him, focused and locked in to him seeing the vision clearer, right? And these are some of the things that I've seen players in the past do some stuff on working on that balance, doing unorthodox, type exercises to get themselves ready and locked in. We've seen it before, but we haven't seen the 7'4" guy doing it.
So I played a year. I don't know if you guys knew that. I played a year in Phoenix, and one of the things that we did was something like similar movements that at first you don't accept it, you don't like it because it's different, out of the ordinary, like you said, unorthodox. But what we learned is it trains the mind and the body, being one with the body, understand what your body does and how to, strengthen it. And I think when you understand your body as a young guy, you prevent injury.
Yeah.
And I think that was important. That's one of the things I learned in Phoenix with those core movements. We did a lot of band work. We did heavy lifting, but a lot of band work, a lot of body work because you need to get your center of gravity, particularly for him being that tall. It was important. I think he's understanding that.
Yeah, some of the other things that he's done in the offseason, he trained a little bit with Hakeem. I'm curious if you've seen a little bit of that game, but I wanted to give you the quote of what he said. We weren't training him for a big man. We were training him for big guards. We wanted him to have the freedom to create because he has the advantage every single night on everyone, and he didn't want him to have any wasted movements. And I think we saw proof of that in game one.
Well, when you talk about all the exercises that he's been doing and all the journey that he's on to become great, and when you want to become great at a young age, you gotta add the mindset toward it. His mindset is becoming bulletproof, and if he continue on this route and having a bulletproof mind, he's trying to bulletproof his body. He's doing everything he got to do. That type of exercising and balance work, that's been implemented into the NBA. I remember a time where I had a trainer, and I think me and Wemby have a similar guy that we work with. He's a French guy. And we used to do exercises like that, and NBA teams like, man, what are they doing over there? And now this is the right and exact way that you should be getting ready for a game. You should be balancing, getting your ankles. That's full body workout right there and balance. So for Wemby to take on that journey, go out there and be a monk and
everything.
And everything. Like
go
this,
talk to KG.
man,
Go talk to the kid.
You don't see the mindset of young guys like this. This is especially what we're witnessing.
You talked about wasted movement. He not with the body, but also in his game. There's a lot. You don't see a lot of wasted movement. He's very efficient and precise about what he's trying to do. Yes, I feel like sometimes core strength sometimes is there. He gets knocked off. But when he's locked in, he doesn't have a lot of wasted movement. It's get to my point, get to my shot. You saw this shot here. He got to his shot. No wasted movement. Knocked it down. So I mean, as he develops, it's scary because he's still getting better and he's going to get stronger. When he gets stronger, it's like watch out.
That's the thing. Talk about that wasted movement. Mel, you played that way. Vince, you played that way. I played that way. To be able to get in a spot where you don't have to dribble the air out of the ball, right? It is just really utilizing your skill set, your footwork. And he's so long. He has a high release point. Once he gets to the point where he can just create the space without having to take a dribble, right? He's going to be very dangerous. And then when the strength comes in that one dribble, right, you have the defense off balance and being able to finish at the rim. It's really endless of how good this man can be on the offensive end. He has a lot to learn and put together. Defensively, he's amazing. He's like nothing we've ever seen before. But still, that offensive game still needs some fine-tuning.
It's funny, he said after game one, I still have a lot of things to learn, but I want to win that MVP trophy for many years to come. Played in 49 minutes in game one, puts up a 40-20 game, and gets the win on the road in OKC. Remember, this is his first time ever playing in the playoffs, just 22 years old, showing the poise that you would see from very steely veterans. All right, we're getting you set for game two, round two of what's going to be an iconic series. There's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's going to have to come up with some answers here in game two. Check it
Coach
in.
Cal.
The former college coach there, the two-time MVP. Coach Cal is here. Listen, guys, De'Aaron Fox officially out for game two. He'll miss his second straight game of this series. Coach Cal told me, though, guys, he saw game one, said he was not going to miss game two and hopped on a plane. That's why he's here right now. Caruso, a two-time NBA champ, certainly played like one in game one off the bench with 31 points, made a career-high 8 threes, which is also tied to the OKC playoff record in a game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saying, I hate that we wasted such a great game from AC. We'll see what he has for us in round two, ladies and gentlemen. But last night, we saw another overtime game. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Knicks, it's game one. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, honestly, early guys, they were on one, got up by as many as 22 points in this game.
Yeah, I thought they came out, had a great game plan, executed well for 3.5 quarters. And then
the final 12:40 of this game happened. And then what happened?
And then everything just fell apart.
Or Jalen Brunson happened.
Jay-Z, that boy got,
It was a target on one of the Cleveland Cavaliers' backs.
Listen, JB scored 11 straight for the Knicks. It was a part of an 18-1 run. Okay, they're going crazy. Melo, you know a little something about that.
They're going crazy. This was a big shot by James.
Absolutely,
right here.
he needed that.
He had that a lot. I don't think he wanted it. I think he was trying to figure it out. But this man right here, JB, wanted all the smoke. He put New York on his back. That's a big shot right here. That was a big shot. That was a big shot.
Yes, well, Sam Merrill couldn't get it to go, so that means that we're going to overtime, tied at 101.
Steph, you got to stay off the court, buddy.
I like that he was in a full suit,
Oh,
though.
help.
And this right here, JB just smart. I think this was a great adjustment by Coach Mike Brown to see that. JB get in there, kick it to Shamet. Shamet hit him. Big,
But here's the one
big
thing about
shot.
it.
Great game by the Knicks.
Left, and they never took it away. When they did, it was already too late. He was in his bag.
They was overthinking.
Yeah, let's get to just, first I want to talk about the 18-1 run, because that's when Kenny Atkinson called a timeout. The game was starting to get away, or the momentum was shifting. Let's just talk coaching decisions in general, T-Mac, and what you thought about the way the game was managed down the stretch, specifically for the Cavs.
So I thought it was mismanaged because I felt like when you see your guard, one of your players is getting targeted every single possession, and they're scoring every single possession, you got to make a change, right? And I felt like James in that game, he played okay in the first half. Defensively was bad in the fourth quarter. That's when you got to bring Schroeder in. What do you have him there for? To be a defender, to come in for those type of moments. I know this is James Harden, but this is 17-year James Harden. This is older James Harden. You have a Schroeder where you can put out that fire, at least compete, right? Compete on the defensive end and make things different. And then another thing before I pass it, Donovan Mitchell, where were you in the fourth quarter? I was disappointed in Donovan because it seemed like he deferred too much in the fourth quarter on the offensive end.
His last field goal came with 8:19 left in the fourth quarter. You see Donovan Mitchell, that's a long walk back to the locker room when you had this game seemingly sealed up with 12:40 left to play, but not walking away with the win, DC.
Well, if you're not going to, if you're not going to take Harden out, at least call a timeout to slow things down. All right. I thought if you. Hey, Wemby.
That was fast.
I didn't know what was
Wemby
going
just
on.
looked right past
What is
us.
going on back
What was
here?
going on? But no, I mean, I think I agree with you. You see they're targeting James Harden. Yes, you may still want him on the floor, but to go offense, defense, or something like that, just to change it up after a timeout or something to slow the momentum down. It was none of that. You mentioned Donovan Mitchell. Well, they stuck him in the corner because they wanted to. Now
they didn't stick him in the corner. He put himself in the corner. That's Donovan Mitchell.
We'll say he allowed James Harden to have the ball win. I think he was having the game. You would do it. I would do it. You for sure would do it as well. Give me the ball because it's crunch time. This is what you pay him for, to be the closer. And when you see things going left, your star players should get the ball. Yeah, they're double teaming me. Let me make the play right now.
I also thought Coach Kenny Atkinson, he trusted James too much yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with trusting James. This is why you brought James over here, to handle situations, to get through situations like this. But in that time, I'm not saying take James out.
No, take him out now.
But I'm saying add Dennis Schroeder in there. James can match up with those other wings that the New York Knicks
He was guarding
had.
Cat at one point.
Right, so now you bring Schroeder in and let Schroeder, be a pest. Let Schroeder guard JB. Now James can figure out how to be effective on the defensive end as opposed to being on ball and them headhunting him. And now you come back on the offensive end, and now you feel confident of making plays and doing something for your team. Yesterday, his confidence looked like it was shot because of the spotlight was so bright on James yesterday in a one-on-one situation. That's hard to deal with a situation like that when you're thinking, what should you do, what I shouldn't do. I'm dealing with one of the best guards and the best closers in this game who dwells on one-on-one situations. So I have to take that challenge.
Another component to that. Now, I could say this. Y'all were great scorers. I played some defense. Y'all ain't played no defense.
We took the challenge. I'm taking the challenge.
But in all seriousness, whoever the primary defender is, I think that was Dean, right? You got to get over the screen.
Oh, big time.
Well,
You see what I'm saying? You got to fight.
Conceded.
You
You're right. They
have
conceded to the
fight
switch.
over the screen.
Especially when you see that going bad.
All
Agreed.
that, letting James switch on Jalen Brunson in the crunch. No, you fight over the screen, right? Fight over the screen. You play that defense and get back, let James get back. Don't just easily switch and have James get on Brunson, and you see what the results was. Like if you were the primary defender, it's crunch time. You fight over that screen and you play defense.
Well, Mike Brown, all he did was say Tuga play that game because this is James' formula right here. This is James. He headhunt guys on defense, and he tried to attack him, get him in foul trouble, get to his bag. The roles is reversed right now, so now the adjustment from Cleveland, we going to see what type of adjustments they make, because the Knicks, they one up right now, and they got an opportunity to see some loopholes in Cleveland's defense right now, and we're going to see what happens.
But if I am Cleveland, I am confident.
Yes, of course.
On how we approach game 2. I am confident in that.
22, we up 22.
Right,
22. Yeah, you came out really, really strong, but you guys kept mentioning it with the Harden and the JB matchup. JB, he shot 67% with Harden as his primary defender, and ultimately JB outscored the Cavs 17-11, the final 12:40 of the game, if you include the fourth quarter and that overtime. So he just took it in his hands, and they got the victory. So game 1 goes to the Knicks. They've now won 8 straight. That's a playoff franchise record, by the way. Dylan Harper, not sure yet if he's going to be the starter in this game, but we know for facts that De'Aaron Fox will not be playing. Well, 2 nights ago, we witnessed a historic performance from a transcendent player. Victor Wembanyama became the youngest player ever to have a 40-point, 20-rebound performance in a playoff game, and led his young Spurs to a double overtime win against the defending champs. And tonight, we will see what they have in the sequel as we get you set for round 2 of the Western Conference Finals with the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder from the Paycom Center. And welcome back courtside, Maria Taylor, alongside the Hall of Famers, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. Vince, thank you for joining us here.
I'm back.
Yes, were you jealous watching us?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. That's
Yeah.
why I had to come back.
Honestly.
And I was jealous of the game that you guys got to witness.
Okay.
I wasn't missing this one.
Yes, it was certainly a historic performance, something that we have never seen before, and it was highlighted by Victor Wembanyama. It was the will, it was the poise, it was everything he was able to do, T-Mac, to make sure that they got a victory in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Like, what is the game plan for this guy? And for me, it's just, you have to put bodies on him. And tonight, it has to be Check, because this is not going to cut it. I know Check being off of him, right, trying to come and be a protector once he gets to the basket, but he has to be that primary defender, because he's too big, too long, and he's finishing at the basket. When you talk about 26 of his 41 points are in the paint, are you serious? We need Check to really alleviate a lot of that. Right here, it's just throwing the ball over the top, because they played these guys so many times, they know how to hit, you know, those counters, and they did a great job of that in the first game. I suspect that Mark does a great job in tonight's game to have a game plan to where they have bodies playing behind him and not in front of him, because we try to put bodies in front of him, they're just going to lob it up and he's finishing at the rim. So I look to see a heavy dose of Check on him in this game, yes.
We only saw about 3 minutes of Chet being the primary defender in game 1. You like that idea, though?
I love the idea. I mean, he should be taking on that challenge. This is the elephant in the room. This has been the headlines all season long. Chet Wemby. He's one of the few players in this league who is 7 foot, who can put the ball on the floor, who can shoot the tray, who can play defense. You have to challenge Wemby. You have to just show some type of physical presence against Wemby. You may not win the matchup, but you got to compete. And if you compete, you give yourself a chance to go out there and get the 15 to 18 points that your team really needs to beat OKC. And if you get 15 to 18 points, you have a chance to win this game. And that's the player that OKC is banking on. Caruso did what he was supposed to do off the bench. Shea is Shea. Jay, welcome back, to J-Dub. Now Chet is on you right now, game 2. I'm putting this game on Chet to take the challenge, keep Wemby off the backboard, put him on the floor a little bit, make him taste the pain a little bit. Okay. We got to rough this up a little bit out here for Chet.
But this is what we talked about last game, right? We talked about how the others was going to really cancel each other out.
Yes.
But the glaring matchup was Chet versus Wemby, right? And we saying you don't have to live up to 41 and 24. You don't have to live up to that, but you do have to compete at the highest level to be the best version of yourself and take on that challenge, right? That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and remember, Chet only 8 points in that game 1 at halftime. Remember, he only had 1 field goal, so we'll see. Only averaged about 10 points per game during the regular season against the San Antonio Spurs. You brought up Alex Caruso. Let's get into it. Off the bench, 31 points, a playoff career high. They needed every single one of them and also knocked down 8 threes in that one.
Yeah, but let's understand, 29% in the regular season, 38 in the playoffs, 4 corner threes made in this game, 8 total, like you said, but he takes the challenge defensively. Wemby, like we talked about earlier, tends to stand up straight. Well, Caruso takes advantage of it, not just gets the steal, but the easy layup. Let's talk about defensive-minded again in the pick and roll. He has a tough matchup, but his willingness to still go help and block shots And that's just the defensive side. Now let's talk about the offensive side. His awareness, knowing we want to put Wemby in the situation because he's a big. He wants to help. Well, I have to knock down threes. Like I said, 38% for the playoffs, 4 corner threes made. There's one there. And here's another opportunity to now take advantage of. I can hit threes, but now I have Wemby. I'm going to take him off the dribble, and I'm going to body him and get into the paint and say, ref, call the foul because I'm driving on the big fella.
I love it, and I love that you showed Alex Caruso, really the primary defender against Wemby, so much of what he was taking on was defensive and offensively. So if Alex Caruso did what he has done so well so far in this playoffs, who is the next person to step up? We saw a little bit less of A.J. Mitchell because J-Dub was back into the game. Like, what do we need to see more of for OKC?
Well, we need a heavy dose, heavy diet of J. Will, right? Yes. That's what it's going to have to be. Me and Mel was talking about that before this. J. Will is going to have to do that to relieve that pressure off of SGA. Why? Because he has the ability to get in the paint and make things happen, not only for himself, but to make plays as well, right? And he also can get to his mid-range. He has the body, he has the strength to shoot over the defender and to finish at the basket. So I look for this to be a heavy diet of J-Dub tonight and take some of that pressure off of SGA.
Yeah, 26 points for J-Dub in game 1. And remember, he had missed the previous 26 days dealing with the hamstring injury. They needed him maybe a little bit more than they really wanted to rely on him in that game 1. Meanwhile, for SGA, let's talk about him. He said it wasn't his best performance, but he's got to stay true to who he is. Who is he? Who does he need to be tonight?
He just need to be Shea. He need to be the back-to-back MVP. This is what we know Shea to be. He talk about passing the test and taking on the test all season long. This was a test that he haven't seen. Game 1 was a test he haven't seen. Game 2, I want to see how Shea react and respond to game 1, to that performance, not by him, but by his team. I also want to see OKC play through J-Dub as the first option today. I know that sounds crazy, but you got to take Shea off the ball. You got to move Shea around. You can't keep giving him the same look. Let J-Dub create. Let him get in the paint. Let him make the plays that he need to make. And let him feel like this is what I'm going to do to bring my value to this team in game 2.
Yeah, interesting. We saw Shea turn the ball over 4 times. We're not used to seeing that. He had the worst plus-minus on the team, minus 15 in game 1. We know we're not going to see that repeatedly from a guy who's a 2-time MVP. So he's got it out of his system in game 1. All right, last night, another unforgettable game 1. This time in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavs led by 22 points in the 4th quarter. Then came Jalen Brunson, led the Knicks rally. He scored 15 points in the 4th quarter. New York closed regulation on a 30-8 run. I'm not making that up. They forced overtime, then dominated the extra period to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, including OT, the Knicks finished the game on a 44-11 run. I know, right? Brunson outscored the Cavs on his own down the stretch with 17 points. The Knicks won their 8th straight playoff game. That extends a franchise record. And Jordan Cornette, he's covering the Eastern Conference Finals for NBA Showtime. After a tough loss for the Cavs, he did get a chance to speak with Cleveland's Max Strus.
Max, it's a new day coming off that tough loss a night ago. What's been the mood around this team?
On to the next day. You live and you learn. Obviously, we got a bad feeling in our stomach, but no better way than to take it out in the next game and try to win the next game on Thursday.
Jalen Brunson was a force game 1. Defensively, how do you guys adjust there?
Yeah, obviously he's one of the best players in the league. He got in a rhythm. He pulled them back in the game by himself, and we got to figure out a way to stop it. So I made some adjustments today, and we'll go into game 2 looking to use those and try to make it tough for them.
Last night was your 15th playoff game for this group this postseason. Was there any chance that fatigue played a role late stages last night?
No, I don't think so. I just think we didn't execute well at the end. We didn't get stops when we needed to, and that's what the game comes down to. You got to get stops in the most important times, and I think we stopped executing offensively and stopped getting good shots on goal, and the game just got away from us.
Game 1 in any playoff series is a feel-out game. What was the biggest discovery after that first game?
I think we played 3.5 good quarters. We played solid basketball. We were up by 20. Obviously, you never want to lose a game like that, but you could find positives out of that, of what worked and things that we did that worked. So trying to build off of those and find momentum and encouraging things that we did in that game to build off of for the next one.
In order to even this thing out, what's it going to take?
Find a way to keep executing. It's the playoffs. It's a grind. Every game's going to bring a new challenge. Got to be ready for it night in, night out, and got to get stops. That's the name of the game. Defense wins championships. It sounds corny, but got to figure out a way to get stops and defend at a high level and keep executing.
All right, well, for the first time in NBA history, Game 1 of both the East and Western Conference Finals went to overtime. The Eastern Conference Finals will continue tomorrow with Game 2 from MSG at 8 Eastern on ESPN. The Knicks look to stay hot and get one step closer to their first NBA Finals appearance since 1999. Meanwhile, the Cavs trying to pick up the pieces after letting that Game 1 slip away, as you heard.
Stay in the game, delivered with DoorDash. DoorDash, in your bag, all playoffs long.
All right, let's talk about what's at stake tonight. No team has ever won a conference finals after losing the first 2 games at home, and so that's company that the Thunder are looking to avoid joining. OKC, they were 7-0 after a loss in last year's playoff, on their way to that title. Remember, that includes 2 wins in Game 2s after Game 1 losses. That was in Game 1 of the Western Conference semis against Denver and Game 1 of the NBA Finals to the Indiana Pacers. So another opportunity here at the Paycom Center with their home crowd behind them and their 2-time reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who throughout Game 1 was maybe kind of figuring out exactly how he wanted to play the game and assert himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's the MVP, right? And we know there's going to be a lot of emphasis put on him to slow him down, rightfully so. It's up to him to read how the game is being played, whether that's him to be aggressive or to get his teammates involved. I wouldn't force anything, right? I wouldn't force anything in the beginning. Just read how the game is being played, get J-Dub involved, see how Wemby, if you can extend him out to get some rim pressure. But it's all about reading how they're going to play defense and how you're going to adapt to that.
The playoffs are about adjustments and taking away tendencies and finding little somethings to take away your best players. And that's what, you know, the Spurs saw in the LA game, the Lakers against the Lakers. Like, yes, we're going to double team him. We're going to stay in corrals. We're going to keep 2 bodies in the way to take away his rhythm. We understand he's a rhythm player. He's very good at. But one thing Shai is very good at is he's very unselfish at getting guys going. So if he's patient, and like you said, I agree, letting J-Dub kind of take the helm first, and but still not shying away from being himself.
Never.
Things can happen.
This ain't about Shai, bro.
Let me get into Dylan Harper here, guys, because he's getting his 2nd ever playoff career start. De'Aaron Fox out again with that right ankle soreness. And honestly, the rookie played great in Game 1 with 24 points.
He played great. He had 24 points. I mean, I know he shot 9 for 20, but we're talking about a rookie coming in and being thrown the reins and saying, hey, go out there and lead this team as a rookie point guard. It was the confidence that they gave him to come out there and have that game and play in that game in the Western Conference Game 1. For him to pass that first test, now you come back, now you got to double down on that as a young player. How do you adjust and how do you come back from having a great game in Game 1? And what are you going to do to add something different to the game? Because OKC already know the formula. They went back, they adjusted, and now what adjustments he's going to make.
You know what, Mel and Vince, Maria, one of the biggest factors that no one is really talking about with San Antonio, they're fearless, man. Right? They are a fearless team. I mean, you look at Castle. Castle had 11 turnovers, but you couldn't tell because he stayed aggressive. Typically, when you have young guys, be careless with the ball, have that many turnovers, you kind of back away, your aggressiveness kind of, shy away a little bit. These guys do not care about that, and that opens up the freedom of playing basketball. And I think that's the advantage that they have and the factor that no one is really factoring in.
And we talk about Wemby, though. I mean, I'm going to let you get it. But when you talk about Wemby and how he backs up everything for that team. For Stephon Castle to have 11 turnovers. If they lose that game, that's probably the only thing that we talk about, Stephon Castle, 11 turnovers. But Wemby covers so much real estate out there on the court that he allows guys to make mistakes, young guys to make mistakes, and he covers for them.
We've heard Wemby talk about their togetherness. So I think it's easy for guys that come in, the young guys, being that they're young, to come out there and play fearless, like you said, play together, and the next man up mentality is easy because you got guys that have your back. And I think that's what we got to see from Dylan Harper. So for Dylan, just go out there and play, but understanding they're going to try to take away something. So what adjustment will you make? But the one advantage he has is his ability to get in the paint against those little guards and score.
He's relentless.
I'm looking for the adjustments. I'm looking. Really, this game 2 is a referendum on OKC, their maturity, right, which we know they have. I want to see that. Also, Mark Degnos, I want to see his adjustment. If they're going to put Chet guard, the primary defender, on Wemby, and then can they absorb the superstardom of Wemby in this game. If he has one of those games, will that affect them mentally? And will that take their aggression away in this first half? Because you know he's coming.
OKC only lost back-to-back games 5 times this year. Okay? So these are the champs, and they're going to come out here and do what they do tonight. I think so.
Yeah, and listen, the Spurs are now 5-1 against the reigning champs. No one else has beat them more than 2 times this season. We are getting you set for Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals and what's already been an absolutely iconic